wananchi ba Kenya. Ruteo rungi Gachagua na Njuri ewe barua tunajipanga wantu tukarita one presidential candidate wa kurana Rais William Ruto kumake one term president. Mero nakuo munya no wasukumite ariwa utengo ikuone kandene mero itiga wiki mweterete 2027 is said so yangi na yaya maingi atugetha tu address ya urainya voter registration ni kuthira kiambiria tukarua ya IBC beta get 6.3 million ya ringi kura bangi bobero na kithurano kikio kikuma now excise ya tumira close to 7 billion. Eish, okay. Kenya election ni kuoneka yo the most expensive ndani ya dunia. Arana batukulukira 23578 namba yetu SMS through live kuri Facebook through live kuri YouTube getha ngithoma ntumiri ciako ora tuwete namba yetu watandirite na very own Eric Kimathi kenda kugana ume kumenya 2027 day kakui kuraya antu bakaibanga kana Ruto achoka tu 2027 niaje Kim. Yes. Under the camp because Jubilee is back. Yes. Na ikiama kia Mount Kenya. DCP rea Gachagua riwa Jubilee I project ya thirikari. Yes. Na uhuru na utura Ruto. Honestly.
Okay, Ima, kancho kenkako mono rukiro narwa. Timu yako yonde. Ano ntubonera kanya rukiro narwa. Na momero amukethi nara kona chionderi. It's always a pleasure having a conversation. Na nujene kieto mi kemana mono mere ko teta platform yo kukaratora ni dia meru. Kukaratu barikane yara tumite na atutite. Nonto kemana mono wira wa ikabo karawiri kanara umite. Nonto nye shape the future. And station hizi ikoeza nitumbite ku open na momeru madogani na akiri na kubangora kaimenya wengwa miaka yijite nonto siasa nacho ndio toro siasa nyo iribira tukora narwa with a supermarket if you kale akuringa siasa yo utembei kyombera mero no mongaba involved to take serious siasa ja investment jora to bati kumejukia na ore ubanga mesa ja kujanja na imwe monono nto utongere bubwega ni utongere bumba kugunika mumero wonde nonto nande no kona gukari na kila mumero na complain either way nonto bakuthira autumite ninguti kinyabara be kwa bogerio chumia bachokeria roje mutarone na rurari rukugurira one
okay
kintu kia maana mono ukugweta kintu kikega mono but before that kambuge I'm very sad this morning reason non to work into kiraki umirite kauchunku ni bravo mirite mero that we are reading in infections manya nuzi ntukembete ikigwa to imuri mojo mukingo mne ko karaja kamiro na nine tongeretie it's quite really a sad story.
I've seen a contradicting story
whether it's true or not.
Analysis disease and pandemic or whatever,
yes.
But continue.
Yes. If it's true, that thing really to dogania onge whether it's really true, but if it's not true, it's also an eye opener for a conversation. Teenage pregnancies kana kuana kuwata Kenya tonele nyam one of musania kidekwa ndo kuwata gono mwana Kenya na kudekwa ko it's na campaign na ndeki batu as a chiari na responsibility ratu na yo kiriana na tuwe turi andoba bete then it's very important to alirwareru nonto ba safety measures chia rojo na generation ya rojo nonto utumbo tongeria nyari to kwaria siasa utumbo tongeria nduke ajitwe na mugongo jo ajitwe no mwangodero jo mugongo jo na health na inya na wait number. So whether they are contradicting stories,
yes.
It's also discussion.
To be very careful.
It's very careful. It's an eye opener. It's a discussion we need to discuss. Can at least to carry siasa, of course, we also need to discuss on measures either the tikari umbago take, whether the rate is high or not. Tumba we prepare on Tubarujo and generation rojo.
I have seen a report posted by one Daniel Kyogora. Na kwa kwanta verify, but I have seen him post andikita kwa recently PS Prisons and Correctional Services claimed Meru leans in new HIV cases. However, verifying data shows otherwise, unless if the data is only limited to inmates. Akawa top counties by total HIV cases, akaandika Kisumu 135, Homa Bay 109,000, Migori 106,000, Siaya 93,000, Nairobi 82,000. Counties with most new HIV infection in 2025, Nairobi 3,045, Migori 1,572, Kisumu 1,341, Homa Bay 1,180, Siaya 873. Akawa Meru County with about 26,727 total cases does not feature among the top counties for the new infection or overall burden. Let's stick to facts from trusted sources like National Syndemic Disease Control Council to fight HIV effectively. Source: National Syndemic Disease Control Council, standard 2025.
Very true. Kambuke, it's also important
Yeah.
to tell the actual figures. But you take a conversation.
Very true.
Need to be discussed. Whether we are number 17
Or
the last number, it's very important. Conversation whether non to ito abdict responsibility ya anabeto na kwaranidia, especially the ito witema. At the moment the is yana bareta boarding school ana pake any mochiari na agererie kuemberia responsibility we inyaukara na mwana ko the country na kwaranidia na weka kumwondekera miarekera igetumia kuona there's issues Ciaca Cia njaito karanandi njaito, and even the marriages are not lasting issues ikudronande anto batea mwana bate kwaranidia. So it's very important we deny the conversation that this issue, whether we are number 70 or number 2, it's very important to
get rid of this if it is possible. Completely.
Kabisa. Going back to you, it's very sad that in 2025, barely 2 years and a half, toka elect 2027. Really campaign, it's really yakato koringa siasa, kanato koringa campaign December. It's quite unfortunate.
Tukoringa kura.
Tukoringa kura December. Ikara yakai Uganda na nditori da, of course in the process of electing their leader. It shows indiscipline. In terms of koreka kudro, to accept the fact that we have a government in place. Ato by a time one Kadaria IBC Canada responsibility with a Koringa campaign. Niki no to Sheria actually new Gagadre campaign particularly. Non to period is to nayo, ne at least Kogeria ko ensure Ngugini Witeka. But it's unfortunate that even the government iratu nayo, Pakuringiro Kura, the first Mokajwambere, bonde bachokere igururiangari. It tells you kinya opposition leaders nyabo bakachoka igururiangari ijareka we campaign inde because purely mutembe. How would you come rarine nangari negoro kutuiroro kutuvire ngugi whereas to batikuya tukiona you see if you are consumer ogento you go batikuya na feedback. You
don't need to campaign to show people.
Campaign to show people. But it's a really indiscipline that exhibited political quotas. Either the government to have responsibility that we take 2022 for the next 5 years. Na boba tu ombere kwa dikira. Kieto mikone nyabo ikeja ko bate choke bata chokere igururia ngari. Zora eri momentum eri towards election 2022 na ba me maintain kairi in 2020 past 2022 mwankanande. Then it tells you that hawakuwa na mpango na bata bangite ora bakadi, because if they under plan they don't have na mpango, then things were supposed to be working. Na ensure that senior opposition nabo gogi yawe kedoro either doing it at the parliament kakoda kwena shadow government yao bakari ya pressure na bakatuirona mantsakurize. But they are trikari chokere campaigning. It's like they are planning for 2027 ikone ni discipline ine mono tori atongere kana atongere batukugura don't you the moment you onenkero responsibility, it's now time witagoge kwebera a campaign gweza kukwariria mantu zatutevya if you compare now and what Kibaki used to do, it purely utingiona Kibaki ejite kurugura roje rwa tap ntorene kana kupiga something, because he believed in systems, he instilled antovaraba itangoge, especially the ministers na mawaziri bawe. He sit down toa ugweta kugora tiditie, but you could see things were moving no ntunomba kudore akiomba go check na kubanengera responsibility, lakini kura kuritha inyabara bara umere thirikari na eku, not because bombere bakarere betwira kinyaka rengo getwa hei tutwari tukarere take tuironka mwene nwije no ije kubangora akabanga regardless whether wina madogania mega wewe ngono kubanga, because naked very unfortunate. But who to blame? I feel ni atonge ni cycle ya siasa yetu nayo ni nonto, it's very sad tiko kuombea ke election yeje, but tunatongeria focus yao either after winning an election pure focus yakune doganira ku how to survive election. Next election pure ni either idina na ingwitikia things are changing. I think are changing such that the new generation ya ikunande ikaba something different. Moses could talked posted something igoronda doma abere akauga si akoroba siasa hii antoba koroba siasa, those so called political elites. It's high time now to bati kuchoka drawing board non to the next the new generation you go to ni to bati okara. Remember they got to corral someone ka boy kareta karuma boy, people came TikToker, yeah, TikToker primary from different quarters better could move no temo chama na joreki no, but people believe that this is the right to do. Nengo iteki nyarira onde nyato reaturari kurari na maandamano. There was a movement utora mena na rabara organizer atongere baba ko organize ura baka 2027 they should be bakoma ko na surprise nene on this and dukeze mbede na generation ndi niona ne that terazima boto bangiro to kadhia we can surprise you with something different. Nengo itekia in 2027 utakuwa na surprise nyingi muno nonto baba bedugani baba kobanga the other movement feeling that kwenda kuona ni alandi kuri but kudureri as at now na new generation kuona the new way of doing things, unless atongere baba paje kurealize the nation, the entire nation are shifted in terms of kuja kutoa kwa responsibility. The first thing you can do no choka tu jako kulinga campaign, whereas things are not, system are not working, things are not working na iketo miokuona nande it will give a different ball game in 2027 election. Coming back of kuja kwa former president Ciaca, it was unexpected one no ntundoera ale ko litini kiama atombere kudore na muchemanyo no ntuekaraja kana ndi kiama kiarigi kutekwa nyara na it was really a move the current president ko ensure mai ena ownership in monoki Jubilee, because of course Boba conceptualized the idea from the TNA na URP backrops form a national party. The dream was kudidia kiama kia national kinainya an outlook, but unfortunately something happened in between 1 year 5 years. Katutikani Mutembe history yetu na Kenya political parties, if you apart from the ODM that celebrated 20 years the other day, most of the ruling parties they actually survived less than a decade. If you look at what happened in PNU, URP came na kuweza Jubilee kairi utiko na nes dhiria miaka yote UDA unfortunately yomba kudhiria kolema ko Kenya 2027 ko past the 2027 on to be a new different outfit ya 2027 no to bomu the ina cheku na formation ina cheku na aji ya kudhura kwena otongere bubwero ko these political vehicles survive 5 wako ye survive two once an election cycle. Some feel like ODM yumbite ko survive no to bokudhura baba na umbite ko kevi a company individual company ana insurance company na nombe teo survive insurance in the sense that we kiama kiawe ike kiashwaga thirikari ukethega survive because pure in 2027 in 2013 after 2017 kiare thirikari ne kiashwite ina insurance we baba kaja kaashwaga ki insurance ko insure thirikari ego survive for the next 5 years nondoka tegera badi the handshake na mukoromwe Uhuru Kenyatta badi the handshake na the former Kibaki ko ashua
na thirikari ne mo
ashua me it's an assurance that I insure Kibaki for the 5 years ire tigere eja kairi after bakole mana 2017 badi the handshake kairi Raila dia guarantee I think kiama kia baba ikataja kaiki insurance company eko ashua ki the political survival in the current regime to the next 27
so Ruto kaere too quick kuchwa baba gire first time nonto ke baba onde second time we ite
but you see atira na chances zingi cha kodithia remember when akojukete atare majority and that where he failed short of the numbers Ciaca Cia kudhurana na chio na kuinfluence kito miombere kiama kira kia Northeastern akireta thirikari ne agura pia mabira biariku at least omba kumatch the numbers nye kwa na case kotini yeri the azimio ne ari na majority party before pre-agreement that ya of the election ko Ruto hatari na option yingi that the only thing for survival ndo atare na numbers ikubwa na plus muskumo joa ntukimbithi there is no way arengiomba ku maintain kwewa no mwankare ngechwa mto mwa insurance ja baba kendo bo survive for the next na ikeja kidhati baba actually it's true kada baba naombere ku team up with the new now generation there in Gen Z na movement here. I will tell you, we would have to a different nation as a day. Non to iko area momentum ya ku change ya na iko area momentum ya guita kuleta mpangarata no thirikari. Of course, he get credit non to at least ibombere ku hotithia madhabu jao bomba ku stabilize the nation, though with a lot of casualties non to tukimbithi neo na ntu baba ingi bombere ku utorobo but to me ombere kuchwa baba nonto atombere kugitatia ku stabilize ndi na kudhurwa kwa we in 2022 ikwari na upene ne kiri ndiguru arita promises nyingi muno na ekira ndiguru upene ne muno but unfortunately plan irari na yonde atombere umikinyana kinyere bomwe nonto digress rebru auma from the root the plan irari nyo to something that I feel itarina na ownership ya mwananchi. Hatu ayo na ntukimbithi na maruru Kenyans are very frustrated non to ba reason atongere badugana ibobo umingurukia na nchi. Lakini bakeja kubaka oruru antre ikia watu irresponsibility kana iwo tani yaku grace kuonekerete kana murungu akonekere tutongeria in that but kudare hona mono that you also need to consult kana what you call public participation to involve Kenyans igakraja kai dictatorial that ogo igo kudugani best for the Kenya but remember we have around 56 million Kenyans that have a different view kuona in a way on today beko ira today we are tired na ndoboto turirite give us fresh adwanyo the moment tukatunekera nto baba pate tuteke that was Kenyan saying lakini na kwa ntawatona ntawarubisha see because ngoko duganya kigo ina na maroja ujoja tumite ndegoro ikaretibui na no kono they are saying it's true that you have in a movement in a ngogenge uraturete for example sha program isawa lakini Kenyans are saying in a challenges is not working. There was a program Yerida Mama. There was a video that trending. Ekoroba ingeri.
Just released bitari.
Ba ingeri bitari meri that tunena. Na ipa kona ni oka program bita abatete because pure electricari program chao ibati kuza si centered to mwananchi that kumuisera maisha jayo ikaja kudhura mtu kuoi chibitari dai na aerokana for 1 month, 2nd month, 3rd month na naye kijibitari. Now I remember there was also a ridamamba that ureta chibitari ugeto gategwa ukaraidho ukayewa kana no ukeja post care ukeja ukategero na tuwirire achi ekurbo beta bakayo kit ya diaper for the next 6 months ukatutrewa. But you see achiari no bakurira ko these issues that all the charters that were in the 47 counties na program na program that were direction they are not working that you kona movement na maruru chama ingi na wastage that kuona ko that's gitomi Kenya nduguru ikuithukira uria ikietumia onere na ndino mwankacho mtoko mwa assurance kana insurance ya go survive politically ikietumia onere the only thing is baba can
so
agree.
Let me ask you a very funny issue came up.
Yes, yes.
Former president ya kari wire rira ari thirikari newe aikureta Raila anti ba murumire muno bamwira is an insult to democracy. Haru now I do not know what they are calling theirs. So Uhuru kureta issue ya baba kiri thirikari ya Ruto.
Yes, yes.
Does it mean Uhuru na Raila they are no longer friends?
I feel interest. You see, it's politics chido chena interest. Na inkwirere kairi Raila has really survived for interest. The personal interest kana ukari interest ile bati kodora chichiawe. Non toka tegera dada afoma na nuskumkate yeja kairi handshake ya Raila na Uhuru. It was purely how do nikana dada kwari na nusumkate kore tere Mombasa edra DC ataiku na utoleo na utare ale carpet na utare yake oro ili complain prime minister amekuja hapa hakuna hata tent ni kidogo na isi you ukategera from that time Raila purely interest yao chikodra chi served wewe ngwa na survival yao in political arena idro hii isasa ko kuevera kwa Raila ki Uhuru siasa unaitwira mbira ananchi na amirubato dikere narua urastandi the politics is purely interest ya individual kido chisen chi taken care then regardless on how you look at it wewe ngwa na toshekete atongere baba tubejo twira ati tukareki tirikare kena tona maendeleo there is nothing utiki nushakiu at the dispensation ila tuli katibenjero utebati nyokara wetu raia maru because purely CDF you still get it whether it's unconstitutional or not constitutional ukame wata resources you go in a responsibility ko budget you go in as a mujumbe you go in a responsibility kwa kukira budgeting na ku share at least you feel area ku factored kiri budget iro kurukire lakini unfortunately abunge barato kodiri no aboli ya budget ira kurukire uto kwera nguge yao iko mama no kana kuthithia the other day president ndongo na rugire imbecha ake ba correcta kuna committee kuto welfare abachura mbecha milioni 10 milioni 50 cha kutaguna ko interest chao it's really unfortunate na itobati utaranto ba kudro at least bena ithuganio rakumenya imbi mwananchi kana responsibility yao na kieto miuko bunge nande the other day bocho karises bakuma recess irali pure empty be bunge lakini no one ile uko na agenda ya goja assembly. I also heard that Nyarengi on bunge wetu aje notimenti he commented on something there is no need for us kuthithia sheria no ntore it's like the house has no mandate ile no in our executive kamore kuthithia ikareta other than he originated from the National Assembly ita nonto bomba tikudithia sheria batikudithia kuitira the National Assembly responsibility ngogire bati ko lakini ikarandi vice versa lakini bomba kuleta sheria ididwa na ikadithia once ku basive kana ku bakari yake the other day borrowing yetu rego people are borrowing drikari ball ore kwenda ikugira murigo Ingeto boni mbugagari mwe it's very important abunge beto menyere nonto kwendelea kurombo guku no ku tukureta ndugu yetu kuguturetera murigo ba miaka izite kuromba ku kwa rombero le bugai kwa rombero gitare uhuru na ibo abumbe most of the MPs baiku bamiru baraba ingi baiku no already na ibo ba ina responsibility kuwa narua thirikari ni batikudore na remits mbechire karomba to their cycle tami yao itekaraje kana ndi thirikari wingi keja kana cheje regime we keja ikeja kuveleka matete murigo munene kiri mwananchi ko kinyama bongo iba tete responsibility yao as a bunge ko kujotwira history itetuteria but one thing Uhuru na Raila of course ango wana interest or play part kia bongo Raila na Uhuru interest na entry ya Uhuru ika change ya dynamics ya politics especially the Mulima side na party ya Naja Toure don to Jubilee kuna kiama kia Jubilee na kia DCP either DCP nande karajakana nande ikukea oke ambiritie no tunande kotrali na kiama kitongeretwe imutongere ya Uhuru Kenyatta nonto nyanto kara yakuitikadi para yakuitikadi that Uhuru still enjoy support inene na nyako ya kwao karageto rikana yora atwirire of course tukono una atwirire ma ndure kadana atwirire tukathura paro kinyawe yangwa gutwira na atwirire kata atwirire bwega no tuketho na tutaririe bwega atura kuri kejere to once election mucho jo kura kinyawe ngwa ujite mucho jo kuthurana wambira mutembe na tutwire noe no muthuku tukaja kwambira muntu ambo ari borme bu ante bona KIMATHI borme nige batatwira ari ko karaja kana indwa muicho ko to me I feel it true president nyawe ngwa katubati ku twire nyawe ku accept the facts na ya makosa atabangire succession politics chawe since wengwa no atabangire kedo na bangire between the Adelato in 2017 oro abanga who to take over the mantle in 2027 nyawe ngona tutikanire tutikaliboga na it's something you can lessons that you can pick from onto ekeja kodro to atikaniro gitarira na tebate kujotwira nande that of course we raise issues ira na there are some are varied not of course you can see things are not working. Some are working, of course, ntomba kwa thirikari nete kumbodide nkupichawe. Thirikari ne kumba kudide ore kumba. Lakini abo mbere ikaracha kandi ya cherry picking the adide bobo akona buti kubua akeja kwa ka dhoko na chichi county. Isi na oka county na rine kaingiriana. If the president the current president na kwenda ku ensure the devolved system are working, let's devolve resources cha devolution chijore bati function cha county maintain nonto ekarana governance as really becoming beggars kana ine harombi no tule maru to the executive or us executive ebati kori devolve all the functions cha county health ukima wamwere wakenya thoko itokorito wakero muno menya thirikari karaje kai ku hype ikonara ara kanto kakodera kareo by hype ako whereas they are forgetting responsibility level nayo na functioning na chichi account. But I feel when they support counties governors baka supported but turim now tutumba kodera tuna dine nyinge mono cha kugraduate tuturaya maru at the national government ko this purely it's politics na siasa hichi tuzumite nande momero apati kudura ome na impambirire nchukaga now currently na the new trends kana the new generation iraiku na nya the new eduganyo 2027 will be a different dogging nyo kona bakuibanga the political elite na makosa jaraba adithire last time abakarere rokiri atongire bakaramethene ogo baba iboka flag bearer na karua no ka running mates ore ruana inchi babati kuga no bati tongeria what happened in Nepal is in Nepal the other day bad demonstration benga tongeria na bobo atura boga madam fulani no ga that wa tongeria. I think the same case Kenyans at tongeria, the political elite need to understand things are changing. Kenyans are seeing and tuba kuona kubo batiko wakanya pakuga Mutembei you got to go to tongeria as a candidate and to kuona plan ya quickly. I think that is where now things are going.
Now,
yes.
Now on that type,
yes.
Now entrance in Jubilee.
Yes.
Uhuru na menererie Gachagua bunene kinya no ntuba mpithukiro ra imunda yawe na aramburichia we na mbi chigetire na kwina Matiang'i ari presidential kuetwa presidential candidates wa kiama kia Jubilee. Gachagua na araririe ro akiwa United Opposition. Do you feel Jubilee bakawatanira na kiama kia Gachagua towards the end?
I feel because I want a compromise that one vertical accept. You see, DCP take care of Makewete Mwangi. You see what is happening? Okay, just start the Irago Karot. Not really that DCP in your alternative.
Yes.
Kiri the mountain. What is happening is a wave. Iraiku ifronted to Gachagua because Gachagua is speaking ura mwananchi akwaria. Ikaja kutoka Gachagua idirikare na re will be a totally different thing. Lakini unknown to circumstances ile na void ile kana ka gap karaka leo hizi that antu bakona yakaba inyiritwe na Gachagua kuja na umbrella. Inyale kija kia makenge kia Karonso or something na kedo ibo wako propel la agenda. Then of course antu barengi resonate na kyo. But you see voting patterns are different. Ukateke rora especially impejana example na Meru rotore. Ukateke nya assembly county assembly of Meru. Rekari na different political parties. Regardless whether you have a strong party as a ticket in kiama kinene in terms of kuringira kura will be different thing. Tukaringira Mutembei non to kuringa na ora to mwene ora to wirite akadithia nenya outlook yewe kana ora ago express madina jao necessary okado na DCP. Jubilee in a route has really been tested. Although bombere kuaga numbers when president exited, of course the former president now get omba ku exit anytime, but I can ensure that akward man to someone ku akamwa akachoka grassroots mashinani na kuensure ku revive the party. They to work together. It will be a surprise. Both Nara Chowagan actually before enough ambida kia makeawe Gachagua na ugete na gochwa mukoro bachokanira iba gochwana. I think there was an interview I did still in touch with the former president bakwaraniria bomba ko reconcile na tomita kurba we tomorombera noro impio non to pomantara padidithie na nya kukorea kumudhikira. Whether they are saying Gachagua is now the kingpin, purely it's not here or no here. Former president still enjoy supporting nene. Na akaamua ku invest every on the Jubilee party. DCP will be kiama kia Madira peke yake ama pale pale wa Mnyoro. No, seriously, because you can't. You see that you ugeka Gachagua and the Gachagua is leading a mobilizer. But if you look at Gachagua and the former prime president, and you definitely listen to the former president because there is something we usually missed from the president. Nyatwe, of course, Nyabogwa, Ferro, that's statement to an empathy mtoku Nyakedrai is a tajiri, but he still empathize, kanaka sympathize na situation directory as a country. Na yuko na nyaro aderwa we of course iko resonate in terms of how kwa mochiari kawe mochiari ukaana hupenya Nyakeda kwena dina nja Mutembei no tena better. There is assurance wona ki mochiari that things will
be better.
Manzo jakabwa. That assurance tumba kuona ki Gachagua. You see because of course nyakanywa kaora ita you feel like still akona pain ana mauchungu. Is like nyawa jukia nafasi.
Are you saying Gachagua is not an option? Absolutely,
Gachagua is not an option. Whether he can play part, of course he can play part. Yeah.
But he himself not.
But he himself is not really an option in terms of leading a nation. What we really missed from even the current president, equal empathize. You see, there is no way we Muchiari, honestly, we to announce someone passed on at the national UN Narea, whereas Muchiari in Tore Neaza, I could lose one na Tore the Kotini. See, also you need also to be a parent before being a leader. You also need to feel a human being. There is that feel we go at Muchiari. I have to talk to them before. But under the moment, you see, you don't fight with your kids or your antabarina, but you sit down and work around things. Former president was better. Of course, he has own enamadina jarajawe, but you could see when he speaks, there is no banyakuru manzajarare. I think umze out of hope. There is really hope. A leader usually mutongeria umwaga nuro kudikira uro kukarandiria, whereas na kaigwa there is a lot of pain you feeling. Maino mwankogeria ku fit in the shoes. Nirombuaga kuakaire na kamberia atongeria badugane jaka ikianga yako eta an opportunity period frani. Tiawe mtu mwaga nkurukitia better people na tia mtu mwaga mwanamati mutembei ati honestly bedora ni particular candidate tekiki tia mini but the opportunity ro particular way is something you feel like kanyaka ibati kudoganiria mtore nimbati ku feel that is a pain even if I have a plan niko na mpango lakini your plan no mwanka involved the way we are doing tukura twakirwe what we call air strip natoa kiro ito natoa kiro kinya poko. What the costs, at what really mwananchi re na involve it at their public participation na ore to these are the priorities inachi tu kariata that discussion niombo tongeria particularize as long as you have a plan, you have a vision no kwenda kutikara menya tenera tu na yaz motembei atongera watu nabo. They want to be remembered in the housing, in the barabara super highway, in the railway, when project in particular identify now.
And in fact, policies, the president,
yes, you see.
Kenya housing levy needed.
Now, how sustainable are they? Because if a regime changed the for example, in 2027, today, this housing levy purely as it was purely unconstitutional. Miundane tirikari utumba kuendelea mtu mdaja tirikari tumba mutembei menya.
In fact, petition ariwa kirimanto ya using ariwa tere ariwa kuna discrimination kiru nu antuiba kuitombecha bonde lakini president yete kimechema newe siasa agawa tukaita kuote nyumbai tunankira arimu tukai so kuringa ariwa it cannot petition ariwa this is discrimination it cannot stand
kabisa inyoga tegera the formation kana the policy ile in effect abunge baadhi dhirie ite kwa president authority kuweza na there's also a board kuna board ile bati kumenya no kajukie bibi but really atugi sawa mutembe munda izwaku mbese ichaku igogwita arafu nkuendelie menya public rad is yours una uwe tu to give them better. I pay for staff barante na wana you also submit. Then munda your public rand. Then I sell it to you again na Montembe. Seriously. I don't know what was really but nyenyo mbairi yango kile kedro Montembe ato kuita education fund for example. Kedo ango gito 2.5 na company go 2.5 na uninka ya 2.5 withingoge. Then we support the education sector. Everybody aende shule bila kusoma. Then that would have really bila kulipa. Then it would be very something that of course let me give back not to the school na inda bingwa. Let me also give back to another person adome. You see there are policies kana inyeka teno gimba wa mwire. Of course gather nyingo gitwa kaka nene kenda at least facility chetu ibwa na mtorowe na ugima bora janda keja for example what was ile ilikuwa na chango jana ya Karuma boy na mochiari aga iko chibitare na kabua system the system wangi, then government iringithwa itethia honestly. Hakuna mtu ana nyumba kwao na probably mutembe ugo na kamogi njika gukorea already alafu na karon kange ugo na korea and probably nya design irawe ni mutwe. It's totally different from gokaranga robene guru urenda gukarara wena tomiti twaku ukara. But anyway, their policies inguga if the next regime ikeja here change the policy ya kudere kuga this housing was tutumba kugitanto na tobenderia nomba, then it will be something different for us who develop properties. Kinya private developers nande ugategera rates itwanyirie kwa waka nyomba no tirikari no yona nde no ya ne waka into chuma no chiku ibo inya chuma ibo bakugura na wingi simiti no bakugura na wingi ku inya ura ku simiti inya beire guru ati na aje kupunguza no tirikari ne kudata ne kugura ko there is no competition, fair competition towards constructing these houses. But if feel ka tirikari nenda at least ananchi bomba kwa fund their houses, they will ensure people have money in their pocket ora bogere mutembe wena tobesha mukori. You can as well jenga nyumba yako all secure mortgage jenga ukachia kila nyumba noko maslamune. Of course we thought this is what to upgrade slums. I thought ekadhani ku upgrade slums nara Soweto and the rest. Here we had a program uru previously na kanyomba no gutare kware budget yake under the budget, but budget ira baka nayo nire yare ada housing na even housing you there's still a county function, you know, still housing I feel is still under county because purely unajenga nyumba za county is still supposed to be managed and the county government also confirm tikeja ku mislead mislead lakini counties also
but nyundi baba kunenkanira
the counties si county lakini menyana ku kwenda mambo jonge jwari menya situnde tubate kwa kanyomba cha mpao na maiga isikita is that made that lazima nyumba ijengo ya mawe nani if you develop in ugeta Europe na ara na US nyumba ni za mbao bana kulingana na material rege depend meha eka depend nora area kadi kaja kutara kwena mete Rift Valley o mete nara muito ne anto bandite kana area kumto mtu akanyomba kulingana na integrabino ikaja kutara integrabili around ne nanto peko comfortable anto batuka la manyata jaori nyaba aba iba wakiri nyaba mtembe ntaigwa kadona manyata ni go wako. But people are very happy in terms of ukaba freedom ya go choose a choice. Daiji I will give an example nki jana dai mitingoge ntukiembete nande utukwenda guitangoge tia office work ntukiembete na no ntiba when there is access what I the carrier pa credit they are ensure that access the network is our people na den torrent we can work from home na there is access which is a plus nyato kiuru jange jonde me say the government has really helped us being connected country mto mwede na ndere na gwitira ngo BNB utoko na with office ne ko everybody has a way of hidwani leo. Countries are moving, Kenyans are moving. Thirikari ibati ku move from ensuring antobakara town kabakara flatine. If government can create opportunities for people to earn money, agriculture can work, other investment ingi chomba ku work, then mwananchi omba kuichwera choice yewe arabati ukara arabati kudhivya nguire abati kuita, then that would have really isn't a burden a plan ira tukura iri other aje.
Now because of time we want to take a chetu chimbara kutira to now 5 minutes, yes. But let's come to Meru.
Yes.
You see last weekend on the Mithika na Kathuri. Betaba kethania bawo watokwariria mount ya county uratombo teithia county yetu and Mithika numere thirikari ne kitambo.
Yes.
But associate na Kathuri. So it's yasere ko yochethao because it seems unshakire taring kethi kwena something yare behind nkethira.
Yes.
Na Kathuri na intete kuromba itikiambi kia gavana. So Ciaca Cia Meru ikethirikari eta 2027 because munya area na kuromba itikia governor mutuma area au and then all of a sudden wona mithika na kathuri na bote ba itukwareria mantu interest cha county.
One, Roareru Berenya, you see these two gentlemen, Bedrebena Roaria for a long time before better public. There is no way former Waziri na the current senator, deputy speaker, Bomera publicare wogai katase call. There is nothing like katase call. These are two gentlemen but on eye to eye in terms of moja rienda, uo munya hata mutetera, ko alitoka, ko kuena conversation itito. One, either the current president na kugerioroka u the gentleman back because Meru as really it's like the youth dating ni kama kinyoka geria. Of course atongere beti bakogeri mono, especially the governor urayi current bakogeria kureta mo, lakini nkorone cia Meru is like itutonya ikuraza the higher the better of the realize. Igeto miokona, I think there is a conversation of coming kureta the former waziri back to ona kedwa kareta, and of course kira kireta interest nikuge mwana siasa etara interest yako chikwa addressed eja kutha kuna kukarampione mwaka jomwe, I think okinya mwaka the former okinya mwaka mpio mwaka ene jomwe temo cheto o zoete frag na mbi na mithika atakarao mefoza for some time na atamenyeria ukarahome
I think from 2013
yes na gerete ukara I think
2007
yes no garia neto nya thirikari
from MP to 2 term
yes
senator
yes
and then aromba governor kieta ayo kwazi ataika inje
atamenyeria ukarahome na ukara utemenyeria ukarahome itozo kuna kathina kidogo ithero kuna kantu igo utinako. Of course you feel to go and negotiate ikana munya akothithia urathithirwe naja nejeria kugeria gucoka ndeje ageria ku raise stake yewe irio Uhuru amujukirie nontu agweta kibaba. Remember etere kibaba aikuona Uhuru ona ri mtu akaumira airachokerwe ayawa gitikia waziri na ingwitikia urara nani retoria rathia nyako join DCP nikito miatayewe haero gitikia ku organize secretary ko nyawa inyake itikire kageria ku raise atikedo na responsibility in the party. I feel no to kerwa aringe wa deputy party leader of course kana SG ki mutai mono mantone, lakini nyawe ngo ito really a calculative move that what and raise take yangu kithirikari hizi muguru kuri oku I still feel no, of course no mwanka withero gikyo kama thirikari nereku iba kugaja ka njogu igathi kwa miguongo no mwanka here stick something out of it.
Kim, how would it look like
yes
mithika achoka thirikari na nage ya Meru akiwa tutam.
You see uti shimiro for siasa
will it change the perception ya Ciaca Cia UDA?
It won't change what really it factor yaku orokombo survive for the next 2 years. You see miaka iris we out of the utemenyeretie mwaka jomoko already akuigwa kweu. Yes, you prepare for these 2 years, at least you hang somewhere for your survival. One it change a lot, but there's something either Kathuri want to exit as well. Non to bwa menya itugere nyarokiri we were talking something okay tugan muntu atikana nara udingata nara anto bari. Whether Kathuri was also planning to join Midika Rintori no katika kuika ya toki kari. Remember there was Kajuju
Kiraito and
Midika. They also want probably a plan on how Midika and Rintori figure on how to take the entire leadership in Meru. It's really a plan, non-ture. How do you expect Midika Rintori and Munya work in Ciaca Cia Meru? No mwanka kila mtu atafute line-up yake. Of course, Midika Rintori, Kaduri na kwenda gete, na probably there is also already they are looking back to negotiate nabo. I think they form a team munya nawe nakuchwa nakwenda gwita kamuketha somewhere. Of course kwina mbichi nyaye rero bagwatana kamuketha. And you see, I have a two team. Now I don't know what will happen with the now current governor. I don't know how you are running itself. No kuona nyawe ngono mwankali de mathapu natigera kiraito kiama kia bus. Of course na hizi na kuona jaka
kina goodwill baru wenyu gavana iweto. So
go, there are two teams that are forming, three teams actually. There is a team ya Kiraito, Kadhuri, Narendori now, Mithika. There is also Munya, and still they ties in the former governor, PNU gentleman. Now there is the current governor and then Kiraito team yawe. Go, there are three teams eyeing for to control Meru. Nano mwanga anasiasa already no mwanga ba consult. I feel like in Tori nanani bara consulta whether they will still remain in government for survival. And of course there is also need of liquidity go survive. Manya when you in government there are many things that come in. Nontuko na thirikari tukugera withirikari ne kuikega kweza nontu gwita iruduni aja tukana na gakora na ikyo tuku kugera. And you can't do this where o medicari na ikeja ko resource wise you advantaged more ore within the system nonto no komba korobin resources zikuma
in very few hands.
Yes,
if Mithika comes back kuromba itikia kia governor.
Yes.
Na the current governor no Mutumari city. Yes. Does he stand a chance?
Ika complicate matrix madhabu nonto they will be looking for the same area voting block yao area mo na then it a card disadvantage bo. Now it will be left by Tigania whether the baka tinga broke or batura koringa, then it will go ika complicate madhabu. It's very important bakare and the goroba bara ni interest yao either Mithika want agomba kuchwa trikari nale aitiegoro. And I think mtu akinyarevo negwita nara waziri negoro imbuga there is no need for you to come back because of course no better to enjoy the same things na Munya you went to the highest, then you've been the governor, there's nothing much you can change. It's also important ku Amiru to fresh mind, fresh atongeria to kukinyandiria mantara madoganyo. But inya tongere baba no bele bakwewa no mwanka no bona ni win
prove a
point that we are running away from Ciaca Cia Ntora, Ciaca Cia clanning. Na there is also an issue that also Mutuma need to address because hapo chini kuna maneno. Of course you've seen online na mantuja jamba ile online yo unajageta mashinani ko if you really want to prove iwengwa na kwenda kujukia 2027 apart from the development you also need to bring people together in terms of the maigajojo dato nonto karajaka ko na igale mo you've had it online tekwenda kugera. Of course he knows na nabatinya wako ku take no to manzo kidogo very important ubati kutega so close ntuja affect amanta maingi mono
ya affect Mithika na nyinyi
very important go to me nonto I still feel Mutuma has a chance in mono as a young person. Now we supporting him to Moja Council atipati run away from reality that there are two political elite camps. You can't wish away Kawira Mwangaza in terms of mobilizing. Gishago is still a mobilizer, but in terms of relying on him, it's something else. You also need to ensure Nyakatona with a grassroots, right? We've seen now he's doing well in terms of games now with a grassroots. Imuhimu no with the machinani is also important, but when you team with an IO, then they are aligned to your vision, your plan, not really interest which are really playing, which are really complicating. I feel to say this because I pray Rowan and Mononda sacrifice the time time to ensure this government is in place. But I felt that entitlement I could manage with the few people who feel like they're entitled. that really will be wonte pati kutampinya kama muthingata me I did my work niende kazi zangu. If you feel that we can support you one day other to support, yes, but those really want to hold that entitlement, but you could run away, at least give system work. We agree that Meru will change, na Meru will change, yeah. Now we still enjoying that calm na Ngugi Baguita, which is very important. But nyawe wana pati kubanga, not relying on anyone, because aende mashinani penye naende ground, wakae chini, antu barani. Thank you very much. I think that message is home.
Thank you, Kim. Natuko kona kanya. Asante sana kile barabonda bokari kile mibango ni bore. It is always a pleasure kudandina babu na tuke dati babu tutendatu na mibango na tutendatu na Wero TV. To keep you updated kile mitando yetu kile chetu cha 7:30 na 9:30. Have a blessed week. Mitoa mtembea.